Good evening, everybody. We begin at 5 with the ongoing fire danger in both Oregon and Washington. And while evacuation levels have been lowered around the Tunnel 5 fire burning in the gorge, concerns are ongoing, especially when it comes to the wind for crews working to save homes. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. Today we got a tour of the fire line and a look at how crews are battling the flames. Our Tim Gordon joins us at the Fire Command Center in Carson. Tim?
Laurel, we get in past the roadblock on Highway 14 for a tour today, and we were joined by Washington's Commissioner of Public Lands, who was here as well. Now, you mentioned the evacuation notices. They were lowered from level 3, go now, to level 2, be set, on both the east and west sides of the fire. But we also got an official count of homes lost. A closer look at the Tunnel 5 fire burning on the north side of the Columbia River Gorge in Skamania County. These crews are working to widen the fire line on the west edge of the fire on a hot Thursday afternoon. The wildfire is burning in steep terrain off State Highway 14. The pace of the fire has slowed, burning 556 acres so far. It's also taken some homes on the hillsides.
We have lost 10 homes on this particular fire. And we do have some mapping that we've been doing of where those residents are located.
At a fire command briefing in Carson, we were told temps down to the 80s and higher humidity in the next few days may help, but west winds will not. We also learned about new technology, giving fire crews a great look at the situation.
Where that spot fire is and can give that communication instruction of who needs to go where.
Also at the briefing, Washington Commissioner of Public Lands Hillary Franz. Franz was also on the fire line tour, seeing crews at work and concerned for what could come.
I will say right away, we are seeing and predicting this is going to be one of our toughest fire seasons to date for a number of reasons. It's hot and dry, and it's hot and dry in every single corner of the state.
But the commissioner also touted the state's efforts to be more prepared to handle a new, more dangerous wildfire landscape.
This is a context where we have been working very, very tirelessly to not only have the team on the ground, our firefighters, local, state, and federal working well together, but also to have the aviation resources.
In the Tunnel 5 fire, the air attack has been critical from the start, getting to terrain too tough for ground crews, dousing flames with water drops. That and nearly 500 boots on the ground will keep at it, trying to contain this wildfire in the Columbia River Gorge. There is still a lot of work to do. This fire is still listed at 5% contained. The hope is that the cooler temperatures that are coming will help and that those winds that are forecast won't be as strong as expected, although they're blowing pretty good right now here in Carson. We'll send it back to you in Portland.
Yeah, we're hoping for that. Tim Gordon in the gorge. Thanks so much, Tim. Meanwhile, some 10 miles east on the Oregon side of the gorge, another fire broke out this afternoon. While it's only about 2 acres right now, there are level 1 and level 2 evacuation orders in that immediate area. This is about 4.5 miles southeast of Mosier, what is called the Vensel Road fire. Fire crews say they are working aggressively to try to contain this blaze. Mosier, of course, about 70 miles east of Portland between Hood River and the Dalles.
Well, let's talk about the weather and the winds Tim was talking about. We'll bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino now for an update on the fire weather. Matt?
Yeah, the winds picked up last night and this morning, and they're going to be with us for several days to come. This is the Dalles right now, still a bit hazy. A lot of the smoke from the wildfires in Canada making it hazy. Some smoke from the Hood River fire looking back to the west towards Hood River. Dalles about 20 miles east of HR. 94, winds at 16 miles an hour. But we look at the winds elsewhere in the gorge. Up at the Hood River Airport, they've backed off a bit, but there's a weather station super close to that fire, and it recorded a gust of 30 miles an hour this afternoon about noon. So those are the kind of winds that we're going to continue to see over the next 12, 24, even 48 hours. Here's our wind forecast. I'll put some numbers to this, and this is starting now. Hood River 24, and the fire right where that bullseye is of the strongest winds there, that's where the gorge is or one of the places where the gorge is very narrow, so the winds increase there. They back off the winds a little bit tonight, but still 18, 20 miles an hour. And then tomorrow afternoon, right back up to the mid-20s with gusts of about 30. That'll be the case over the weekend, too. They'll modulate a bit. Some days maybe a little bit weaker than others, but for the most part, consistent and fairly strong west winds through the gorge over the next several days and really into next week. So winds are increasing tonight. They'll back off a little in the morning, but they stay with us right through the weekend. It is a little cooler. It'll stay a little cooler. There's still no rain in the forecast unless You're at the Oregon coast where you might see some drizzle. We'll talk about the cool air and the weekend weather in a bit. Guys.
We'll see you soon. Thank you, Matt. In Gresham now, police have arrested a man suspected of serial vandalism yet again. Authorities say this is the fourth time 25-year-old Garrett Fine has been arrested in roughly the last 2 weeks. Each time, though, he has been released. Police say he's broken windows and damaged businesses on several occasions, dating back to June 27th. He was released again after his latest arrest this week. As for why he keeps getting let out, in some cases, it appears he was deemed low risk. And in the most recent arrest, the court couldn't appoint a defense attorney. The DA's office calls the situation, quote, concerning.
2 people are dead and 2 others hurt in a crash in southeast Portland. This was last night in the Lentz neighborhood at Southeast Foster and 96th. There aren't many details yet, though. We know it is a rollover that involved 2 vehicles. No word either on the conditions of the 2 people in the hospital.
In Washington County, the sheriff's office says a teenager crashed a stolen car at a Mac station. Deputies say they spotted the 16-year-old driver going more than 90 miles an hour early this morning on Southwest Walker Road. The teen then hit a power pole at the Merlo Mac station and rolled over. They tried to run off, but deputies detained them. It also turned out there were 3 other teens in the car. 2 were taken to the hospital. The third one ran and was not found. The driver also went to the hospital. The car's owner lives in Portland and says someone entered their home earlier and stole their keys and wallet.
We have an update this evening on a local program to get folks to turn in their derelict boats rather than dump them in lakes, rivers, and parking lots. Ashley Grams is along the Columbia in Northeast Portland. Ashley, this Take Back, which is free, has now been running about 6 months. How's it all going?
Right, David, this program has disposed of about 19 boats since the start of this year, several of them pulled right out of the Columbia. Now, they say the goal of this program is to dispose of these old boats before they're abandoned. Some of us drive past them every day or see them bobbing on the river. Old boats can be difficult to move and even more expensive to dump.
On average, about $2,500 to dispose of a boat. And of course, that can vary depending on how small or large it is.
And if an owner can't foot the bill, sometimes they go a cheaper route.
They can just tie it to a tree, pull it off the trailer on the side of the road, or dump it in the river and let it go for no charge at all.
During the 2022 legislative session, the state granted about $350,000 for a boat take-back program in the metro area in hopes of solving this problem.
And so far, we've had 69 applications submitted, and we've already approved 38 of those.
These are just a few of the boats waiting for disposal. And while this program is free for boat owners, it's also a good way to keep vessels like this out of our waterways.
And there's also environmental impacts. Depending on the boat, there could be asbestos, containing material in it. There could be gas or oil. If it has a restroom on it, there could be black water, like sewage water.
And as for those enjoying the river, boats like these can be a safety issue.
If we didn't do something with them, they were going to create a hazard or sink and end up being on the bottom of the waterway.
Metro, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, and the Oregon State Marine Board say they hope this temporary program takes the financial burden off of boat owners and improves the health of our rivers. Metro expects this program to last until the fall or until the money runs out. And they say $350,000 could dispose of up to 100 boats. David, Laurel?
Sounds like it could be a win-win for everyone. Thank you, Ashley.